now we go over here to this, and it should say starting.
No, we're good.
Nope, starting.
Okay.
Once it's on, it'll say on. I bet like right now we're being recorded. I'll bet. Yep. So I'm going to share this on the old social media here.
Okay.
We are live, and then I'll say the recording of this podcast will be posted later.
You're not gonna use you're not gonna do like the public meeting speech that they say at the beginning of every city council meeting or anything like that.
I've yet to memorize that. I've had no reason to memorize it. I do not head any of the subcommittee meetings, so I have yet to memorize that. Although Joe like mouths it every time it's said.
Does he really?
He does. Yeah, he does. He knows it by heart apparently.
Well, he was the president for what, 4 or 6 years? I don't know.
Yeah, we are live.
You can head the city council Glauser committee. How's that?
Well, that would be the entire
that would be everybody
process. So, what do you think so far of the city council now that you've gotten a chance to absorb some of these meetings and you're doing your thing?
The more things change, the more they stay the same.
So, go through a rundown of each seat. Just a quick blurb, whatever, of each seat.
Okay.
And I'm going to post this on Facebook, and we'll be live.
Okay. So seat 1, which is Kadeem, he's the new Cabeceras, but he's a little smarter. He's got the laptop, so instead of having Big Orange, we have Quicksilver, and that's my terminology.
That's your term.
That's my term, Quicksilver.
No more Big Orange. We're going with Quicksilver now.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you have Joe Camara, that's still in seat 2. Same thing. Can't say much. He's just going to pop in every so often, and he's just going to just take about 45 seconds to pretty much dash everyone's hopes and dreams of trying to fool everyone, which is kind of hilarious to me.
He takes that role.
Yep.
Seriously, right now.
And Kadeem is trying to take the role that Joe Camara is doing. He's trying to imitate it, but he's failing horribly.
On the flip side, though,
yes,
against the administration.
Correct.
Yes.
You have Steve Camara, who just won't shut up. I'll leave it there.
Well, now, sometimes when Steve talks, he does make some sense. Is he making any sense?
Point of parliamentary proceedings, I don't give a crap. I don't care.
Well, you knew he was going to do that when Ponte became the new president.
I just don't care. Just shut up. I mean, I would love to just take the next meeting and literally put a clock on him every time he talks, just to see how long he talks, just to see what percentage of the meeting he talks. Because seriously, it is just unbearable to hear him. Whenever I hear Counselor in seat 3, I literally take a deep breath in disgust, because I know I'm going to hear 20 minutes of a history lesson. I'm going to hear 5 questions that are like whatever, and then I'm going to hear another 20 minutes of history, and I'm done.
Well, I also think, and just tell me if I'm wrong, do you feel like
You're wrong.
Great. I said if I'm wrong. Do you feel as though he is trying to make his own case with subtext, make his own case that he should have been the president?
No, if people would have made him president, he would have spoken less, which I think would have been the smartest thing in the world. But that's just my thought. I think I'll get to the current city council president in a minute. So I'm just going to move on. Let's see, who's in seat 4? Is that Pam? No, it's Kilby.
Ooh.
You have Kilby, who I don't really know. He looks like he's like one hyped up conversation away from a heart attack.
Ouch.
He just does. He wants. I honestly think he wants to have shorter meetings though, and you don't really hear from him a lot, so I can't really make a decision from him. Oh, there it is. There's the council. Pamela Bowe, seat 5. She hasn't really changed.
I think she's recruiting.
I think she's recruiting as well.
Yeah.
I think there's 2 names out there that are going to which
guarantee.
Oh yeah. I don't think they'll make it, but we'll see.
You never know.
We'll see what happens.
I do not in any way, shape, or form underestimate the Fall River voter. They will vote for a name.
Oh yeah. So I'm yet to. Well, I'm hoping she stays prepared. We all know that there is a there's a disease within the city council. It's called not read my email-itis.
Is that still going on?
I mean, I'm yet to see that has been cleared up, but we'll
wait a minute. Are we still doing the I don't know what's going on thing?
No, not she hasn't had the ability to do that. So I mean, it was only the first meeting and a special meeting. We will see what happens this week with the normal city council meeting. So still early to tell.
Just a quick heads up. Haven't caught up on the replay yet of this one, so. Derek's informing me and listeners who probably have or have not listened to the most recent meeting. The most recent meeting being on, I believe it
Tuesday.
Was this. Oh yeah, just this past Tuesday.
It was a special meeting.
So a special meeting that was called because they still can't figure out what they want to do about the school. So they voted.
Can I get through the rest of my?
You gonna go to Steve Long?
Yeah. Can I get
so number 6.
Let me see. Steve Long. Steve Long. I just think he's just very upfront to the point. He asks questions. He has answers. No extra time he wants to spend bloviating, which I like. I have a question. I want an answer. I either like your answer or I don't like your answer, but it's an answer. I yield. I think that's cool. That's literally him. No nonsense. I wish everyone was like that. You're screwing me on the picture here.
Come on.
Number 7. Okay. Oh, it's Leo. Okay.
Have you heard of that guy? This is the fresh new young council. His name is Leo.
Yes.
Leonard. Is it Leo or Leonard?
Leo.
Probably Leo.
Leo Pelletier.
Nice.
Sans his red truck, his red van, which is a little weird not to see that.
Yeah, without the red van. Parked in the handicap.
I mean, Leo is just Leo.
Yep.
I mean, he does his thing. And he does his thing well.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I need to really go too far into it.
Okay.
Derek Viveris, C8. Don't know a whole lot about him yet. I'm yet to see something that he's deeply passionate about, where he actually has the ability to ask in-depth questions. I don't foresee him being one of those. I think he's going to kind of follow the role of the freshman counselors from last 2 years ago. He's going to keep it brief. He's going to listen. He's going to take back some stuff. He'll make his questions.
Don't assume you know everything. I think that's a fair approach to take.
I think that's what you have to do for a little while before you get. I mean, he's got to get his toes wet before he can get his feet wet before he can get the rest of his before he can get fully into the ocean. So I think that's where he's at.
No recording of who voted which way, huh? I'm looking and I'm not seeing that. You would think the newspaper would actually. It was
a 7-2 vote.
It said 7-2 on here, but it doesn't say who voted for what.
Yes, it does.
Oh, it does. Great.
You just got to read it.
I'm not reading anything right now. I'm just going through the whole thing.
And then finally, the current city council president. I think.
Oh, $263 million.
Can they finish my?
No, I'm cutting you off. I'm sorry.
Seriously?
Keep going.
And then finally, city council president. I think he is. I think he didn't expect to get what he's getting right now. He's getting a lot of pushback from C3 on parliamentary procedure, quote unquote. I think he's just trying to run the meeting as he thinks he should. I think that there are rules that he may not fully understand. Like, he allowed to have 2 motions on the floor being dealt with simultaneously, which you can't do. You'll have to watch the meeting. You have to watch the special meeting to figure it out.
Come on.
I mean, you can't do that. You have to deal with one. I mean, there was a motion on the floor to do something, then there was another motion that was seconded, and I'm like, okay, they both have equal presence, you really can't do that, but you gotta dispose of one over the other, right, whatever. I think that City Council President Ponte is gonna go one of 2 ways. He's either going to say, screw this, I'm done, or he's going to really take charge and rein in people who are just being a little ridiculous. He's attempted to do that. A lot of point of orders are happening. A lot of them are happening.
There were a lot over the last 2 years too.
But there have been a lot over the first city council meeting and this meeting, because people like to just go way, way, way out. And of course, you already know who I'm talking about. He wants to. He will say, well, I'm getting into this so I can have my long segue into that. I'm like, no, get into the point.
You ever watch Matlock?
No.
So Matlock is an old TV show back from the 80s.
I know he's a lawyer. That's all I got.
He was a lawyer. He used to get a lot of leeway in the office, in the courtroom. and he's like, if you just allow me this, Your Honor. And, you know, he'd go all the way through this whole process. And at the very, very end, you'd finally figure out what he was going through. And bam, he would get it.
How long was the
Two
show?
counselors.
How long was the show? Was it a 30
An
minute?
hour.
All right, so that's why you needed to do it. If you didn't do that, it would have been a 30-minute show.
Two counselors, older counselors, have to go this route when they have the floor. And that was Ray Mitchell, right? And that is Steve Camara. The older guys, they have a lot more to say. They have a lot of, quote, wisdom to pass on from previous times that they were counselors. And, you know, they want to let everyone know this whole process. Some
wisdom.
Right.
Quote, unquote.
Right. So this is the difference between Matlock and some of our older city councils that like to do this method of, we need to talk about this so we can get to my point here. Matlock, right, would do it. And at the very end, he would win the case and he would tell your point and you say, now I understand why you had to go through all that. In the case of some of these council meetings, let's just give a percentage. Let's go 100. I've seen...
Nice.
It's from. I've seen...
Decorum.
Right. I need to tell my backstory. I need to go through this. I need to bring so-and-so to the floor to talk about this and ha, and joke, and da. And at the very end, it literally goes nowhere. Now, I'm just guessing. Is that how that went down the other day? Tuesday?
Fair assessment.
Council chambers.
But here's the difference in all of this. The only similarity that I think,
and I love Matlock, by the way.
The only similarity between Matlock and the two councilors that you mentioned, I think the only similarity between them is they have white hair, or one is having white hair. The big problem with your argument is that
there's no argument. I have no argument.
Hold on. Matlock isn't real. It's fake. It's scripted.
And you're saying that it's different. How exactly?
This is bloviation.
Huh? Oh, I think you're going to say real and not scripted because I was going to say...
No, I'm not even going to say it. Sometimes I ask myself if this is real life. Right. Kind of like the truck story I told you before.
Yes. Crazy story, by the way.
Yeah, that was I just did not expect.
Prior to... We have a lot of, pre-show conversation before the microphones go on, and he told me a really funny story. We're not going to get into it now, but it was really funny. Continue.
So that's my thought about the council as of right now. This is only 2 meetings in. I mean, I think we'll probably have a much better assessment of them as we get through the first quarter and as we get to the most important meetings, which is coming up toward the end of the second quarter, which is fiscal year talks. So budget talks. So we will. I mean, I'm going to hold out any and all of my reservations and my judgments on the current city council. I would not be surprised. No, actually, no, I would be surprised if one decided to drop out.
No, this is not going to happen.
I know it's not going to happen, though, but I wouldn't be surprised if one councilor leaves. And it's not going to be because... And I just think it's going to be because of, what the heck do you call it? Not attitude. It's just he's just gonna get sick of stuff, and he's just not gonna want to be there. I just have a weird feeling it's gonna happen.
Who is this you're talking about?
It's not important.
Oh, you don't want to say? Huh. We talk about everything. It's called City Talk, Fall River. Huh? Really? Yeah. Well, All right, so he gave me the number, and he doesn't want to tell it to me, but really?
I think so. It's more specifically this one.
So, this one?
Yeah.
And...
this one.
Really?
I think so.
Oh, wait, now you're going this one?
Dude, that's the same number.
Oh, okay, so he gave me a number, and that was just ridiculous, but... All right, so ultimately, he's giving me 2 guys that he thinks are going to step down eventually down the road. I've been of the opinion that since the Jazel and Paul Da Silva situation, councilors are usually going to hold on to their seats for as long as they can, and for whatever reason, for whatever gain that comes out of it, even if they know that they're not being effective, or even if they know they don't really belong there anymore. If 5,000 people are in the city are still gonna put a check next to their name, then they say why not. That's really what it comes down to,
Right.
So
we'll see. I guess we shall see.
Yeah, that's why you gotta. If you guys are out there, if anybody's out there that cares about the city, that wants to really try to run for office and make a difference, and do all that kind of stuff, don't get discouraged by how these council meetings go, or don't get discouraged by what you see in social media, Facebook. Don't get discouraged by people yelling, swearing, all that kind of crap. You gotta be in tune with what you want to do, and then go out there and do it.
Shout out to the 3 people listening in, by the way.
Nah, you know how we do. We get like 3 to 5 live, and then later on when you go on YouTube, it goes up to 100 and whatever else.
One of which is Nikki, because she cannot be here today.
Yeah.
I have a feeling she said she would be listening in. So
there was a presence missing when we were going through our first 15 minutes of the show.
Yes. By the way,
yes.
My name is Derek. How is everyone doing?
Good. I'm Trot. Nice to meet everyone.
And this is City Talk.
City Talk Fall River.
That was the longest cold open we've had in a long time.
Fall. If you want to call in and talk to us, and I have enough battery charge on my phone, which I do, I'm at 84%. The phone number is
774. Wait, shoot.
Oh my goodness.
774-955-0533.
Yes, it is. Got it. So he said it really fast. So I'm just gonna say it.
774-955-0533.
Perfect. And I think Banville is listening right now.
Hey,
I just got a text message. Oh no. No, now I work with him per diem in the same company with Adam. So Adam's my vegan friend who I've known at Durfee since like the 90s.
We call him Vegan Adam.
Vegan Adam. Whoa, that was bad. That could have been taken as like a bad word. You say it really bad and say it fast. I'm in the middle of texting him back. I will later.
Okay.
And then I'm going to say, City Talk is live.
Call him.
Yeah, right. No, he's busy. No. There you go. I will later. City Talk is live. So there you go. As a matter of fact, wasn't Nikki talking about like what we were talking about of getting certain restaurants open? Look, we're at 5. See?
Yay.
Restaurants around the city can be, they could be possible restaurants opened up, and she jumped at the opportunity to talk about a vegan restaurant, even though Nikki doesn't like Nikki's not a vegan in any way, shape, or form, but she just likes the idea of giving people equal opportunity to have their restaurants and whatnot.
Sure.
So we were talking about Benny's closing down, if I'm not mistaken.
That was 2 weeks ago, correct?
And you said to me, or you said to us, you think that could be the start of like a Trader Joe's or a Whole Foods or something like that?
It's at a national food store. I don't know what it's going to be. I don't know I have no idea. There was no discussion past that. So
I would like it to be that. But let me I'm looking at something real quick. So they voted 7-2. We'll talk about this. We'll talk about the city council meeting on Tuesday real quick. They voted 7-2. The only 2 people that were against progressing to a special election for March 6th is Sean Kadim and Stephen Kamara. They voted no. I haven't watched the meeting yet, so I'm not going to sit here and act like I know what their positions were and all the talking that they went through. But your 7 people who did vote for the March 6th special election is Joe Kamara, Brad Kilby, Pam Liberty LeBeau, Stephen Long, Leo Pelletier, Derek Viveris, and Cliff Ponte. So those were your guys that had said basically with their vote, they said that the people are going to have an opportunity to vote on March 6th as far as the funding for the new $263 million Durfee High School. And I believe from other articles, the cost is going to fall on the city at somewhere between $95 to $100 million, correct?
That is what's being advertised. However, as it was said in the meeting, the final numbers will only be fully known on January 24th, I believe. I believe that's when the meeting with the MSBA and the meeting with the MSBA that will give the actual numbers. Now, one thing you have to also take into consideration is when
Can you tell people what the MSBA stands for?
Massachusetts School Board Authority, I believe.
Nope.
I don't know.
Massachusetts School Building Authority. So people can understand that.
Close enough.
No, I'm just saying.
All right. Anyway, so we have so we had 7-2 vote. The two dissenting votes were Sean Kadim and Steve Kamara. No surprise. You also
It's a surprise to me. I thought there would be more, to be honest.
No, absolutely not. I fully expected a 7-2 vote. 100% fully supported it because you saw how he voted. No, absolutely not. 100% knew he was going to vote for it.
Oh yeah, that's right.
100%.
Yeah, he's from that crowd. That's true.
So you have that. Then the special election that's going to happen on March 6th, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, March 6th. What that's going to do is going to see if the citizens are going to want a debt exclusion. Now, what debt exclusion is you will have a separate line item on your taxes for the school. Now, what the administration is saying is that it will fall to being somewhere in the area about $25 to $30 a quarter, or $125-ish a year per resident, or per tax-paying resident, I should say, to fund the school. This will go into effect in year 2022, if I'm not mistaken. I believe it was 2022.
Bond has a 30-year life expectancy.
Yes, and it's for 30 years. Now, the reason why they're saying 95 to 99 million is the fact that they don't know what the interest rates are going to be at that point. So you can only guess right now. So voter beware. Things can change in 4 to 5 years. 4 years. It was 4 years. Yeah, because that would be 4 years from now. Yeah. Things can change in 4 years. So
I've calculated this in yes, 2022 will be 4 years.
Thanks. Did you use the app on your phone to do that?
My fingers.
Oh. You can count that high. Good job.
Just my fingers.
Okay. There's a lot of questions here. There's a lot of questions because here's one question. You're going to build the school. Mm-hmm. Is history going to repeat itself? Is it going to fall apart? How are you going to maintain it? You know, what's the plan? I mean, granted, hold on. Granted, back when the school was built, it was built by an architect who didn't really know how to build a school.
People went to jail.
Did they?
Oh yeah.
Okay. All right. So the people who built the school didn't really know how to build this school. Now you have a lot better of a vetting process. So, am I confident that the architects will do their job? I think so. But
you have faith.
I have faith that I have faith that an architect knows how to do it because they will be held way more accountable now than they were 40 some odd years ago.
Really?
I think so.
What's the evidence?
I just think that it's going to happen.
Okay, this is more based on.
Right, this is my opinion.
Okay, all right, cool. Woo.
That's why I said I believe.
Okay, yes. I believe I can fly. I believe I can touch the sky. But I don't believe
you
that.
Think about it every night and day?
Yes, but I do not believe that we are better today at holding people accountable than we were years ago.
I think that there's more. I think contractually.
I just said people went to jail.
Right, but I think
right?
contractually.
Okay.
I think there's a lot more that you can do in that way, which we might have to get set up for because he's the only one that knows how to do contracts. The look on TJ's face is.
I'm having a great old time over here. Derek's kind of taking the floor, and I'm enjoying it. But Derek is a very fact-based individual, and he likes to read and do all this stuff and give you the numbers from the article or from the document that he's reading off of. But when he squeezes in those I believe sentences, I get a big kick out of it because then I'm like, but I like it.
All right.
But I like it.
But no, I mean, I just think that nowadays contractually, you can put things into a contract that can hold people more accountable. And hey, they have to. I mean, both sides have to sign a contract. Both guys have to read the contract.
True.
So both sides know what they're going to expect at the end.
Especially when you're talking about accountability and that kind of thing. I like, because do we really hold people accountable here?
No, absolutely.
Look at the national level right now. Look at the national, what's going on right now.
This is City Talk Fall River, not City Talk United States of America. So let's start here.
What country is Fall River in?
But this is City Talk Fall River.
Not Country Talk.
This is not Country Talk
this is
USA.
Country Talk Fall River. No,
It'd be Country Talk USA.
United States of America. So real quick, I just want to. We don't hold people accountable on a national scale. We don't hold people accountable on a local scale very much,
no.
if at all. Because even when we recall a mayor, the guy gets the #1 rated show on AM radio. So, and you can go over across the Providence when Buddy Cianci went to jail for being crooked, and they still almost voted him back in. I'm not even gonna say. Not even gonna talk about city council because people lose their minds.
You're making 0.7 right now.
Nice. So it's just holding people accountable, and we have a better vetting system. And hey, do you remember the vetting system we went through to get a head of DCM here?
Yep.
Do you remember that whole process last year?
Yep.
No, it was a mess. So no, I think I have reservations all up and down the line. I'm way too suspicious when it comes to this whole the whole new Durfee High School. The number's too high for me. The process hasn't been detailed enough for me. I don't know how on God's green earth we're going to afford this. We're going to go over the tax levy. They voted to not stay within the tax levy. I have no idea what the city council's thinking, what the mayor's thinking, what the state is thinking. We are not in a position to afford this, in my opinion, all the way up and down the line. This might not be a number.
Yeah, go ahead, take what you got to do.
Hi.
I just think that there's a lot that needs.
Oh, you're calling in. Okay. Cool.
Oh, we got a caller.
We do have a call. I had to vet the call.
Yeah, all right. So we have a caller. I haven't had a call in a while.
Speaker Amy Blanchette.
Amy Blanchette's on the line.
Former school committee candidate, current member of the Flint Association, if I'm correct, right?
Uh-huh.
There you go. What's up? How you doing?
I'm good. My son's over here laughing at you guys.
Nice. We try to have fun with this. We don't always want it to be overly serious podcast, but we do say some serious things sometimes.
Well, yeah, you have to be because we can talk some stuff to death.
So what do you think of the school? I know. What do you think of the school situation? Let's talk about the school situation.
I've been on the fence since it came out, and I understand what we do. I had kids from my youth group, that complain about that school every day and the conditions, and there's no doubt in my mind that we need a new school. I mean, I've watched the meetings, I haven't been able to attend them because, as we were running, there was all these other things, that we had to go to, so that I had to, watch from my TV and sit through that. It kind of sucks because you're losing out on that interactive experience of, being at the meetings and being able to question them. But, I get it, in even in school, the price tag just really bothers me. I don't own property, I did rent, but, I'm thinking of people like one of the girls who's on my campaign. She's in the mall, she's in the She's an agri professor at UCG, they make hardly any money, plus she has 2 other jobs. And her taxes have already increased. Now they're going to increase again.
Right.
And the fact that we don't know that this interest rate is going to be down the road, that's really scary because we have a tendency to bond for things. And now if you think about the things that we've bonded for in the past, some of the things that I remember, like...
This is almost like buying a house with a variable rate rather than a fixed rate.
Right.
It's the same concept.
When you think about what our habitual bonding things them don't end up working out so well. Like, remember when we bonded for the trash, for
the trucks?
the trash, yeah. You know, I mean, that's just one example. I mean, we don't have a history of making great decisions. And we don't have a good history of enforcing the voters before they go out and vote yes, you know, to have their taxes raised. I think a lot of them are going out and they just want to vote yes. You know, and I really would like, and we don't have much time. Why should we be voting?
Well, that's the way, that's the method that we've seen our government run. It's always back against the walls. We got to get this done last second, you know.
Right, and I commented that exact phrase actually after we put river. I said, you know, we're at the point now where our backs are against the wall. We don't really have a choice now. It's, you know, come down to that. You know, and my thing was with the mayor meeting the head of the school committee. You know, why did we agree to bond on the street project before we agreed to bond on this project? Why is street more important?
I mean, I think we bond way too frequently. We're too ready to bond things. And again, I'm always looking at the maintenance. Now, Derek mentioned about the maintenance. You and I have talked about the maintenance on Facebook in the past. I talked to Melissa Pantry last week about the maintenance. I even went on Will Richmond's article, I guess he posted on Facebook as well, and asked a question about it. And I've been mentioning maintenance to just about anybody that I could talk to about this. And I've only seen one obscure post about maintenance from one of the counselors on their wall, where they said that they have the numbers, or there have been meetings about the maintenance and things like that. But I just haven't seen a public, you know, push showing that yes, we are going to be able to afford the maintenance of this building. Yes, we will have a schedule. Yes, these things will be in place. It just seems like a lot of it is up in the air, and it looks like in the less information that we have, the more suspicious I get, Amy. You know?
Right. You know, I mean, with things that have been happening, you know, like for instance, the rail trail. I know you guys talked about that a couple weeks back. I was gonna call last week, but I was busy.
Yeah, you want to call in guns blazing too, Amy.
I was listening to that whole conversation. I was like, wait a minute, no, and I don't even remember what it was he said that I didn't necessarily agree with, but, you know, as far as the red trail is concerned, I'm sorry, nobody's going to agree with what's going on with that. That's totally benefiting one person.
Mm-hmm.
One person.
Yep.
We are begging to one developer who throws money at people.
Well, and I think that we have to also remember that, you know, I think there was a curveball. I say this, there was definitely a curveball thrown by the administration with that calling an easement over a road. However, we still, even if it is an easement, look at the definition of easement. We should have definitely been looking for more information. I watched the meeting. I actually played that exact point when it was first brought by the president at the time, Kadeem, and the only person who said anything was Ray Mitchell, and all he did was say, easement? And yep, and then that was it. There was no paperwork, there was no looking at anything, there was no nothing. So I blame, you place blame on the mayor, and you should, but place equal blame on the city. Not you. I'm just saying in general. People want to place blame. Well, you did kind of place blame on the mayor, but you also point the finger at the people responsible for these curveballs too. You know? Oh, I'm losing you. We're losing you. Can you hear her? Amy. Yeah, Amy, I'm gonna put you on off the thing for a minute, just because your phone was like messing up really bad.
A couple things that she brought up that I kind of
it sounds like
a couple things that she brought up were
Charlie Brown, a little bit.
You know, the whole thing with the taxpayer base is still going to have to be paying for this, even though you are renting, you're still going to see an increase in your rent, because at some way, shape, or form, you are going to have to foot the bill somehow, some way, which means those renters will feel it. So, you know, don't think that you rent and you don't own the property doesn't mean that you're not going to feel it. You're going to see, you will most likely see the increase in your monthly rent. So now that we have Amy back, I think.
Yeah. There you go. How you doing? Better? All right, cool.
So Amy, one of the things that I wanted to touch upon that you said is like you mentioned that you rent, you don't own property, but one of the things that you will most likely see, and it's probably not going to happen right now, but it will happen eventually, is that you're going to see that your rent is going to go up because of this project. Now, just because you're not the house owner or the property owner has to find a way to absorb the cost of the additional line item that's going to be put into his or her taxes. I don't want to sound sexist here, so his or her taxes. So you're going to see it. They're going to see it. A lot of people.
Josh Silva, actually, he was like, "Oh, but you don't own any property." I was like, "Yeah, but I pay rent. Just because I don't own property doesn't mean that I'm not going to be getting it with an increase."
But you got to also think of it in another way. Sometimes the property owner can absorb it, and they may not pass it on. I mean, I think that's a little crazy, but I think that's pretty awesome for the property owner that can do that. Not everybody can. So for me to say that all renters are going to see a hit, not very fair for me to say, because sometimes the property owner can absorb it. Will they? I doubt it. I'm gonna go out on a limb to say the majority of them will not absorb it. Now, if the numbers hold true to what they said in this special meeting, it's going to be about $125 a year additionally for taxes. Now,
I don't think so.
Why?
I mean, I know that's the number they threw out there, but I don't think so.
Do you think it's?
I feel that it's going to be higher.
All right. That was my next question. Do you think it's lower or higher? Now, see now. Do you understand now? Do you understand why the administration did not want to give those numbers? Because hey, look, guess what? The meeting on the 25th, was it 20? I forget. I believe it's this coming Wednesday. Or is it Monday or Wednesday? I forget. For the MTBA. I'm sorry, the MSBA. They're having that meeting to discuss what the actual number will be. So I think it would have been a heck of a lot more wise to not give a number, because right now, if that number all of a sudden doubles, then the administration is going to look horrible.
And we are locked in.
And we're locked. But now that we have this election on March 6th, now we're going to have a lot of numbers flying around. I just feel that now the voter has to be on their game. And I'm asking a lot of voters to be on their game because we see how they voted in the past. So here's my problem. There's going to be a lot of numbers thrown at you all at once. And now, even though... I'm sorry, go ahead, Amy.
No, I'm just agreeing with you. I mean,
she said, yeah.
I mean, voter apathy, that's my number one concern with this, besides the statutory side, is that, I mean, the only people I think that are going to get out this vote are going to be the ones that want school and are going to approve it, That's how I feel. I don't think enough people are going to be going out there to vote no and understand. That's not to say that I'm voting no or yes yet, because I like to see the numbers in front of me before I vote on anything.
Now, do you...
Yeah, I think voter apathy is going to be a real wrench in this situation.
Yeah, but and now you gotta understand, like, especially with what just happened, people are going. I don't think people are really going to hear these numbers, and that's why I said voter needs to be educated, and they have to take emotion out of this vote. I mean, granted, look, I went there for 4 years. I went there from '95 to '99. I'm an alum. I mean, I want to see the school do well. I want to see kids in that school do well. I want to see. I did not like seeing the school in the shape it was in after that water pipe burst. I thought it was disheartening. It sucked. But right now, and of course the timing is always suspect. But here's the thing. I have to take emotion out of that vote because look, I don't have any kids that are going to that school. So for me, I have that all I can go off of is numbers. And that's what everyone needs to do. If they can't go off of the numbers and they can't go off of is this feasible for the tax base of Fall River, we're going to get into a very big trap. And it's a trap that I don't think anybody will be able to get out of because this is a 30-year bond. We are stuck for 30 years if we vote to do this. If the vote comes back with a yes to proceed with the school. If not,
this, you know, it's a way of how you say it though. We're stuck with this, or we're committed to this.
All right, you could say committed. We're going to say stuck. I'm going to say stuck. Because that's the reality.
What else are we going to be committed to with the next administration and the next administration? Because, I mean, all the administrations that I've paid attention to so far, we've run it at least 3 or 4 times during each administration.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I use the word stuck. Because if this administration does not proceed into his next term, the next administration will have to take this on, and they're no longer committed to it because maybe they didn't like it, so they're stuck with it. So, unless the only way that you can get a commitment from an administration is if the administration stays for the duration. That's 15 consecutive terms from the start of when we have to start paying. So that's 2052 when we finish paying this off.
He's young enough.
2050.
What's he? 15, 16 right now? Everyone calls him a kid. Boy Emperor. What's all
the Boy King?
All the nicknames that they give this person, I should say, is, you know, I think that, you know, there's ups and downs of the Jazel career administration, but I can only imagine this is actually a legacy project of Flanagan, right? So Flanagan was the person that wanted to put this together when it first started, which already my spider sense starts to tingle already when I hear that sentence. You understand? So, right? So, and look, it's taken on all the characteristics of the Flanagan administration. Do we have all the numbers? Do we have all the planning? Do we have all the... Who's going to be the contractor that does all the maintenance and repair and all that other stuff? We don't...
Well, that's the other thing.
Huh?
That's the other thing.
Right. So who, like, where is all the detail? We're just... You know what we're doing? We're using feel-good statements. And also we're using veiled threats, right? So first we can compare it right along with the bags in 2014. But we'll start with the school right now. We need a new school. That school is awful. We had 2 years ago.
Don't forget the time is now.
Oh goodness gracious! So 2 years ago we had the air conditioner. Didn't the air conditioner break down in the school?
The boiler.
The boiler.
It was the boiler.
Right. So, you know, that happened, and then the water pipe just... Yep, all the kids were walking out. Then we had the pipe burst, and this, that, and the other, you know, and then, you know, they took air quality tests, and, like, this school should have been shut down probably a long time ago if they really inspected it the way they were supposed to.
And by the way, the results of the test, what did they do with it? Nothing.
Zero. So you know, there's all kinds of problems with this school, and you can point to that. So that's how you can develop your talking point. So we can make it a fact. We need a new school, right? So now our talking point is we need a new school, and we care about the kids. That's something that Rich Cabacera says a lot, right? We care about the future of our children, right? All that stuff, right? So kids. So you get all this. You get all these talking points, and then you get presented with $263 million project with a bond, 30-year bond, and you don't know what the interest rate's going to be, and blah, 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 and we're just going to have to eat this. And we don't have to go from one end to the other. Yes, we need a new school, but what can we afford? No one ever asked that question. What can we afford, and what are the plans to maintain it? It's two simple questions that I wish everybody would be talking about, and we're only hearing bits and pieces of people on social media or calling a radio show talking about these things. That needs to be at the forefront of discussion before March 6th, before any kind of vote goes down. That's the way I look at it. Your phone is acting up again, Amy. Amy, your phone is acting up again.
You hear me?
All right, let's do it. You got it.
The two things of this that I saw that
Yep.
I've seen on social media a woman who I will not name who stated that it was insulting that this project was started 3 or 4 years ago and that you never went to a meeting or paid attention to any news or anything like that. You know, and I thought to myself, so where are these meetings posted? Because I'm involved and I've known about the project for a good year or two, so that they were having meetings. But 4 years ago, no. I've never heard anything until about a year and a half, 2 years ago.
Well, God forbid if you have a job and you're working during those hours too, you know.
Right.
Doesn't mean you don't care, right?
I'm really busy, you know, and I mean, I make time for things that are important. You know, like I said, I watch it on TV, but I mean, there's a lot of people who are working 2 or 3 jobs and have multiple kids and just can't afford that opportunity, you know. And then the other thing was, there was a woman who was actually a fellow candidate, she stated that. There was a woman who went to Citizens Input who I think she's a teacher, I'm not sure. She spoke right after TJ Ferry, who stated that if you can't afford your property, you can't afford the tax increase, to move and sell your property to somebody else who cares about Fall River. And I was like,
that's gentrification right there, baby. Yep.
Yeah.
I couldn't even believe that she said that. Like, if she is a teacher, like, does she know, like, the demographic of students that she's teaching?
Yeah,
How many people can't afford, like, barely surviving? Like, I'm one of them, and I work multiple jobs, and it's tough for people want to live every day, you know, and to get some, you know, what he needs. Not what he wants, but what he needs, you know? So, when they're hearing a comment like that, that's really insulting.
Yeah, I mean,
Make a good case.
no, I listened to that piece of Citizens Input, and when I heard that teacher say that, and I'm not gonna repeat her name. I'm not gonna repeat it because it's not worth it. When I heard that, I honestly, I was floored. I was floored when I heard her say that, because it was just. That pretty much is a slap in the face to every to you know, those people that are struggling, the ones that have to do like the work, the multiple jobs to get what they need and not what they want, because, you know, just like you said, it's not like they have the ability to be like the way that how she said, give up your property to someone that is willing to do it. I'm like, are you kidding me? That was just,
they use the Love Fall River part too.
But I mean, but I just couldn't. I was floored when I heard that.
Are you gonna say that to a senior citizen who's like 74, 75 years old, who cannot get another job, who's living on, you know, the retirement that they've worked all their life for, and can't afford these increases? Like, I'm nervous for that demographic of people, because there's nothing they can do.
I think some teachers, and I'm not saying all teachers, but I think some teachers who who see, you know, the parents that they, or have to interact with parents, and maybe they don't get along with some of the parents, and maybe they just have a negative view of you know, what the citizenship of the city is. I guess I don't know. I can't really speak for that person that said, yeah, right. I can't speak for where that person was coming from, but I mean, it sounds like she don't really think too highly of the Fall River Citizen too much. So.
Exactly. That's exactly how it appears.
Yeah.
And that's disgusting for a teacher to have that view.
Yeah. I'm just trying to piece together myself. So, but Amy, thank you for calling in. I appreciate this. You told me you were going to call in, and I appreciate it very much.
No problem. It was a good conversation.
And thanks for listening. And feel free to call in the future. Okay. All right. Thank you. Bye. That was cool.
That was pretty cool.
To Amy's kids who were laughing at me, hi. We have a good time. What are you doing over there? Are you looking at the sports scores and stuff? No. Did you? Hey. Bill Belichick. He might be leaving. He might be leaving.
I don't buy it.
Do you see all that? I know you've seen it now.
I don't think so.
I don't know. You were blowing it off the other day, but I think it's real now.
I don't think so.
Anyway, again, thank you, Amy, for calling in. I appreciate that very much. We do this. This is a very lax podcast. You know, we don't need like too many we don't have too many rules or anything. I like when people call in and just speak their mind, and you can talk about any topic you want, really. We like this. So, but yeah, man, I'm way too suspicious about this. About $263 million, and you know, what is it there? Fall River Straight Talk, is that what it is? No, Spindle City Straight Talk. There it is. Spindle City Straight Talk. I have not listened to them in a while, but I did see their host, one of their hosts, CJ, up there talking about how they had to. Really? Wow. Okay. He just gave me the lowdown on that whole thing. Sorry, guys, I got distracted. But I saw CJ post a couple of things on the wall, and some things I don't always agree with, and sometimes I am in agreement with some of the things he says. And you know, when he informed the public that, you know, there was a vote to keep this within the tax levy, to not go over the tax levy, to not go over the 2.5 threshold, and it was voted down. That will raise my suspicions at any point, because now we're looking at taxing people higher than what the law allows, and that should raise everybody's flags. You don't just dismiss that. You don't just say, well, we need a new school. That's not how that conversation should be going down. We should have a real discussion about the cost. How can we afford it? What's the trends of Fall River right now? You know, we got Market Basket, we got the whole South Coast Plaza, we got the casino going to be across the street in Tiverton. We got some new stores coming around. Our economy can be looked at as, quote, booming, in a sense that, yes, jobs are going to be out there, but these jobs that are at most of these places are not overly high-paying jobs. And also, they're consumer-based. It's a consumer-based economy. So you're gonna need some new revenue. And yes, some of these buildings and some of these places are going to be paying more into the tax base, but they get a lot of tax incentives. And usually the trend in Fall River is, once those tax incentives go, so does the business. So, you know, there's nothing heavy right now for us to rely on to continue going over the tax levy to pay for such a high cost building. Now, Derek wrote down the billboards and the money stream to me, which is something we talked about. But go ahead, Derek.
Oh, you gotta also understand that there's specifically one building in Fall River that got a massive TIF.
Amazon, right?
That's the one.
Yeah.
Now imagine what they'd be paying if they were even because I believe they had a contract for it. And I want to say it was 20 years, where I think it's the first 5 years they pay nothing, and then it's like 25% for the next 5, and then 50% for the next. I forget exactly how, or is it for every 4 years? I forget. After a certain amount of time, they finally get fully onto the tax base. Now the.
15-year TIF. I'll get it.
All right. So it's a 15-year TIF.
I'll get the details.
I believe the way it is that they pay very little to nothing now, and then they'll eventually stop they'll stop paying taxes into the city. Now, even though that's just one building, it's a pretty massive building. I mean, have you seen the Amazon?
Yeah, it goes on, man.
It goes on.
Drive by, it goes on, man. I like it though.
But that's the thing. I mean, you have to take into consideration that at some point, these buildings, these properties that do, oh dear God, these buildings that do have TIFs.
I got to credit Fall River Herald News sometimes, man. They know how to take a photo, don't they? Sometimes,
yeah.
Man.
All right, hold on.
How many times have we done this on this podcast, right? Where we pull up a photo from the Herald News and we have to laugh at it a little bit.
We lose it.
Oh man.
Because the greatest part of all is you take a look at all the people that are on this table right now, and then fast forward to what's going on now.
Exactly.
And that's what it is. It's like you have Ken
City
Fiola,
Councilor.
Yeah, then City Councilor, now Mayor.
Yep.
You have Kathy Viveris. You have Ken Fiola, and I'm trying to figure out who the heck that is.
Frank Marchione.
Oh, is that the head? Is that the head of Freud?
President. He's the president.
He's the head of Freud. President Freud. Yeah. So just seeing that picture is funny. But if you scroll down a little bit, it actually goes into their TIF agreement. Let's see. It was 15-year tax exemption for both real estate and personal property tax begins on July 1st, 2017, which begins fiscal 2018. Let's see. I believe, all right, under the TIF, all right, during the first 4 years, so up until 21, Amazon will receive a 100% tax exemption. So then it goes to 75% tax exemption. So they'll be paying 25% of the taxes from 2022 to 2024, which is when they would start having to pay this loan off, the 30-year bond.
Let me continue this, please. So basically, from 2018 to 2024, they're only going to be paying 25% of their taxes.
Well, actually,
from 22 to 24.
Right.
That's it. So they get their first 3 years they don't have to, they get full tax exemption.
So if you but here's the interesting part. It says he said he didn't have hard numbers, but the value of the exemptions for the value, but ventured that it could be approximately $100 million. Now, what was the number again that we had for the building of the school?
$100 million.
Okay. So let's not.
And also, $100 million was also the figure a few years back when they were presenting with what it would cost to repair the current Durfee.
So is $100 million the new $3.5 million?
I mean, I think that we can center a lot of things around certain figures, and that's one of them. So let's just scale this back a little bit. We're talking about how are we going to consistently provide revenue? You can't use talking points to pay for this stuff. You can't say, well, we have Amazon, so our economy is better, so let's buy a new school. Stop it. Stop. We need to have something consistent coming in. Again, these are all consumer-based, economic growth. It does bring some economic growth, but not a lot. You also are remembering that we don't have a college, right? But we're going to spend money on a high school. We're supposed to be the scholarship city. What entity? And Derek, talk to me real quick. What entity is going to bring in more economic development to the city? A new high school or a new college?
College, because you have college kids that have mommy and daddy's money. Which come on.
And you have a new consumer base every 4 years at least.
Well, that's the thing. The consumer base will continually change. Every year, specifically.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
right.
because you're gonna have the college kids that are gonna turn 21. So what are they gonna do? They're gonna go to the bars. You're gonna have the college kids that are gonna come in that are gonna be 18, 19 years old. So what are they gonna do? They're gonna do the shopping thing. So that's what the South Coast Marketplace is for. Okay. You're gonna have those kids that are gonna be looking for jobs, which unfortunately,
I would rather $263 million go towards a college that we could actually be proud of in this city than a high school. I think we could. What was the Somerset High School? I know that the populations are different. So
how much was? Do you want to know how much it was?
I think it was about 80.
It was about 83. Yeah. It was about 83 to $88 million to it. Now here's the point. Now, if you take a look at the way that the school was built, it was built for. I want to say it was.
The only problem is you get the state reimbursement. But
the thing is, the school was built for. I want to say it was about 1,000 kids or 1,000 students altogether.
A huge difference.
Now they want to build a school for 3,000 kids. So if you put it all together, it's legitimately triple the cost, which is kind of where we got the number.
But not really, because triple of 80 is 240. We're at 263.
That's why I said I think it was 88, which puts you actually at 264. Right. Thank you.
What? You didn't say 88.
I said it was between 83 and 88.
Thank you. Crap. Anyway,
so we can go back, and I promise you,
we'll roll the tape.
We will.
But I just don't. I'm just like, I'm at a loss here as to why there's some people out there that use the other talking point that our economy is going to improve by investing in the high school.
No, it's not. It is absolutely not.
The theory is that if the stronger our education is, then the more qualified for the job market they're going to be.
Yeah, but that's a farce anyway, because where are the jobs that they're actually looking, that they're getting this education for? They're not here. So blow that out of the water. They're not going to.
So what I'm saying is,
they're not staying here.
If a person graduates Durfee, great grades, all that good stuff, or Diamond for whatever reason, right?
Yeah.
Where are they going to college?
They're either going to college. Well, all right. Great question. Maybe they're going to UMass. Maybe they're going to Bridgewater.
Yep.
Maybe they're commuting and they're living within Florida. Maybe. But let's be more realistic. A lot of the students are going to go to BU, Northeastern, Framingham State,
Brown.
Yeah. I will say Harvard because I know the class valedictorian from my class went to Harvard.
Instead of going through the names of the schools, let's talk about the towns and cities that they're in. They're not in Fall River.
They're definitely not in Fall River, and they're not within a 15-mile radius.
UMass Dartmouth is the closest one.
Yeah, UMass Dartmouth, which is the closest one. You have Bridgewater, which is the next closest.
You got if you go to Rhode Island,
and then you have Rick. Rhode Island College.
You have Rhode Island, you got URI, you got Salve, you got Roger Williams.
Well, Brown's in there too.
Yeah, Brown. So you got some Providence stuff, but none of it says Fall River to me.
But that's right. You're in a different state. You want to commute, you can. That's fine. But chances are, kids want the college experience. They want to live at college. They want to have room and board.
Now, let's look at those cities again, okay? Where the colleges are.
Bridgewater's
doing fine. Dartmouth's doing very fine.
Well, if Dartmouth's doing fine, then they really need.
They're the only mall in the United States of America that has not a desert wasteland right now. I'm just being sarcastic.
Swansea is pretty bad. No, but hold on a second. But Dartmouth is doing good, doing very well. But they really need to learn how to plow their roads after a snowstorm. That was pretty bad. But that's
neither here.
But that's neither here or there. Okay, Boston, Framingham, Providence,
Newport. So right,
and then you have Roger Williams, which is Portsmouth over there. That's a good city.
We're not talking about them being amazingly rich and overflowing with affluent people. We're not talking about it like that. But when we're talking about Fall River, I still want people to look at those statistics. They're out there. Find them. There's a reason why US Today said what they said about us, even though nobody in the city wants to believe it. Well, not everyone. So we wanna try to keep a realistic approach. Yes, we need a new school. I think we do need a new school. I think that building, if we were being honest with ourselves, would have been shut down a long time ago if it was a business, right? If it was a house, a residential facility. That would have been shut down a long time ago. So this is ridiculous, right? But does that mean we have to go and overly tax people for the next 30 years? I don't think so. I don't think we need to go that route. I don't think so. And if we really want to talk about some of these talking points, the biggest one is the economics, right? Building a new high school does not put Fall River in a bad place economically, as long as we don't have to overpay for it. But let's complete the circle here. If we do have a nice high school that produces good high school students and graduates for college and ready to go to college, then let's complete the circle here and let's get a college in the city. I'm just saying it.
Well, we technically do. We have BCC.
Let's just upgrade that to a university then or something like that. But we need to do something better than what we have now for the for the high school graduates. For this city, I'm saying. It just needs to happen.
The part.
But I like having a community college because not everyone can afford the big 4-year colleges.
But here's the thing. You look at you go to a job interview. Mm-hmm. Okay. I'll go in with a degree from UMass Dartmouth, which is what I have. I have an engineering degree from UMass Dartmouth, double minor. You're going to go into a job interview with a master's degree from Boston University. Boom! A third person's going to come in with a degree from Bristol Community College. I'm not saying that the person from BCC is not going to be just as qualified.
They definitely could be qualified.
That is not my point. But you're going to look at all three of these And you're going to be like, oh, well, Boston University, ooh, that's a big name. So they're probably going to give a better chance for the kid from Boston University to get that job.
Except for city council in Fall River. You have to be a lot more educated than that to be a city council in Fall River. That much I know.
Dude, all you have to do is make it to 9th grade in high school, and you're better than half of the city council anyway. So let's blow that.
My Boston University degree did not play any part in me getting city council seat.
All right, just taking a quick look at Trottley's for city council business card. I'm not going to mention the address. Community volunteer, master's degree from Boston University, U.S. Air Force veteran for 9 years. That's I love how people say they're a veteran from the armed forces. I love that. Doesn't mean anything for a city council. I mean I respect the amount of time that you put into it, but once again, it means nothing.
I think it puts that you are dedicated to service of your community and your country.
But all due respect,
it also would speak on how you maybe have certain core values and how you carry yourself and how you respect other people and all those kind of things. It would talk on that.
I'm going to apologize. Right. I'm going to apologize for what I'm about to ask right now. But how has that done for you lately?
Me personally?
No, for
city council. No. Well, in my in my professional life,
yes,
100,000% been great.
Okay, yeah. But you would imagine that.
Well, that's what I said. I whispered in the microphone just a little while ago. I said, except for city council.
Okay.
Except for city council. That is the only one where we have such high standards.
Yes, apparently.
Much higher standards.
Yes, because we have high standards because we'll allow Leo to come back.
Yes.
But hey, whatever.
Yes.
Hey, okay, but
very high standards.
But you know what? All right, let's get back to the topic here.
Yes.
I feel like we've just did a Steve Kamara whole thing right now.
I had fun with that one.
I know, but see now I can see why he has fun with it. But let's get back to reality. Just because you have a new school does not mean you're going to have students that are automatically going to be like, all right, we're going to be great students. No, that's not going to work.
Oh yeah.
Just because you have a brand new high school does not mean teachers are going to be teaching more effectively. That's not going to happen.
They keep on saying that. Oh well, won't be distracted by ceilings falling in and blah 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 blah.
Yeah, but here's the thing: if the teacher's doing their jobs, the students are going to be engaged with the teacher. I don't care if the ceiling is falling in around me or if there's going to be raindrops. If the teacher is doing their job effectively, there's two things that are going to be happening. The teacher is reaching out to the student, so the student can learn, and the student is engaged in what the teacher said.
Derek, do you mind me going Matlock for a minute?
Go ahead.
Do you know that I've been going over to the First Baptist Church?
I heard.
Yeah.
The one on the top of the...
Right across from YMCA.
Okay.
Yeah, I think you're talking about Calgary. Calgary is at the top.
No, it's Third Baptist. Never mind.
No, you're talking about Stafford Road.
Third
Baptist, yeah. No, First Baptist is over across from the Y on North Main Street. So anyway, a few weeks back we had a lot of snow. Did you know about that?
You know what? I briefly remember because within a week it was all gone.
Yeah, it was interesting. So
shout out to Josh Silva, by the way.
Yeah. So we went out to the church during all that snow, piles and piles of snow was going out there, right? And we couldn't find a parking spot. It was really bad, right? So they didn't open up the front doors to the big room, the big chapel with the piano and the grand everything, right?
Sanctuary.
They didn't open it up at all. They instead, because no one had access to it, and I think also the heater, it would have took too long to heat that room and everything because it was so cold. They took everyone from the congregation to a small little classroom area where they do like AA meetings and stuff like that and like Bible study and whatever else, right? So they just had us all sitting in this little classroom area. And it was an amazing sermon. Absolutely 100% amazing. And why is that? Because it didn't matter the location that we were sitting in. I'm bringing this to Matlock. I'm bringing it. No,
dude, it
didn't matter what location we were in.
I saw where this was coming about a mile away.
Yeah, because you're so brilliant. And
so smart.
And it didn't matter. Like after a while, it didn't matter where we were sitting. It didn't matter what was going on. What mattered was the topic of discussion, the engagement Was the message the right message? Were you getting something out of it, right? So all those things mattered more than the place that we were sitting in. You know what I mean? And I'm hoping that whoever's listening understands that, because this wasn't rocket science, but it simply does not matter where you take the classes or what you're doing, as long as what you're doing is effective, as long as what you're doing is sound.
Right. I'm actually going to bring this back to what Amy said before. She made a comment saying about having how she needs to, how she works 3 jobs.
We're going right into this after.
We will. How she works 3 jobs to get what she needs and not what she wants. Well, now we're going to look at this with the new BNC Durfee High School of Fall River. We have to use the full name because Steve Camaro will be pissed off. We don't need. Yeah, you seeing these numbers? We don't need a new high school. It's a good want. That's my opinion. Okay. Now that we've made that comment, now we're going to go about working those 3 jobs. And speaking of jobs, I heard there was some raises to a couple of people in the administration, and TJ is almost beside himself seeing these numbers. Look at this. Look
at my bike.
Hey,
and if you live in Fall River and you have a heater like that, you have to have a pan of water on the top of that.
See this thing right here. See this thing. Dude.
No, so this is when I saw
and then this is for the humidity right in here. There's a bunch of water in there, and then here's the bike where everything just kind of goes around and around.
So this is my first reaction when I saw the article of the raises.
Yeah.
That was my reaction.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
Do you think we should do that one time? Do you think we should do it like that one time? Like put with American flag in the background, of course?
Yes! Yeah. Absolutely. American flag it up.
That'd be interesting.
So wow. A couple of people in the administration got a raise.
All right, so
I'm
Joe Good. Joe Good.
No surprise on who wrote this. 2
of Mayor Jazel Carrere's top administrators signed 2-year employment contracts, each containing hefty raises. City Administrator Kathy Ann Viveras, who is serving under her 3rd mayor, is now earning an annual base salary of $140,000, up by nearly $27,000 from the 1-year contract signed in 2017. She was also compensated $6,500 a year for her role as the custodian of tax possessions. The city's Director of Financial Services, Mary Sahadi, saw a $40,000 increase in her salary as of December 22nd, 2017, with an annual salary of $120,000, up from the $80,000 salary she was receiving the past 2 years.
I just want to stop you for 1 second. Now, here's how ridiculous these numbers are. And do I think, and now I'm going to preface this, do I think Mary Sahadi does a good job? Do you think that she does a good job?
Yes.
Okay. Do you think she does a good job to earn $40,000 of a raise?
It's not, at that point, it's not about job performance. It's about affordability.
But I want you to kind of look at this in a second. That's a 50% raise.
That's insane. That's a lot.
50. There are people in the city of Florida that don't make $40,000 a year. A lot of people in the city of Florida don't make $40,000 a year. She had a $40,000 raise. Now, hold on. I got it. Now I have to do the math on this because I wasn't prepared for that. Now, Kathy Ann Viveras got just about a 20% raise. It's 19.2 according to my calculator because I wasn't about to do the math in my head. That is now think about it. $27,000. There are senior citizens that are in retirement that don't make that.
The raises are being funded through surplus money in the mayor's budget. His decision to increase Viveras' and Sahadi's salaries came as he considered the, quote, talent pool and a, quote, need to solidify the team. They go above and beyond, and they are moving us in the right direction. Go ahead.
I don't know. I just can't. No, and here's what's even more interesting. you have two people in the administration that make more than the mayor. Where prior to this, that never happened. So basically, you have Jesus Christ. You have a city administrator who makes more than the mayor. To heck with being a mayor. I'm just gonna try to run for city administrator. I'm gonna try to get that job when it's over. Because if that's the base salary, damn.
All right, so it depends on who the mayor is, right? Could you picture yourself being a city administrator under Sam Sutter?
Yeah, because he'll just give out A+ to everybody, like he did with Meg Mayo Pro. He does. He's never part of anything anyway. Who cares? But that just goes to show, I mean, I'm sorry. That is just ridiculous. Yeah.
So you can't justify. I'm sitting here saying we can't afford a new school. We can't go over the tax levy to buy this school. At the same, and I say be fair, right?
$67,000 in raises. $67,000.
Bad timing.
Do you realize that there's probably like less than a quarter of the people in Florida that make $67,000 a year?
Yeah. Bad.
$67,000.
Bad.
No. Let's think about this. $67,000 over 30 years. That's just roughly around $2 million.
Bad.
That $2 million could help support the school. Just throwing that out there.
Wow. All right. So since we're talking about money, two developers pitched plans for the King Phillips Mill. First of all, if you have any ideas or if you have any thoughts on what you think the King Phillips Mill could be used for, we have a Facebook page. It's it's City Talk Fall River on Facebook. We're the only City Talk Fall River on Facebook. So all you gotta do is type that into the search and we'll pop up. You can also find us on YouTube. We have a YouTube channel. We've been doing. I think I actually labeled it 78, but this is actually episode 79 of our wonderful podcast we've been doing for a long time here. So if you have any ideas that you want to throw out there, and also Amy, who called in earlier, she found our Necessary Media. Yes. So there's also a live chat for who people listen live. And we seen Amy in there, but now we have Necessary Media. And it says, is there such thing as a degreeism? Are employees degree-ophobic? That's interesting.
Well, no. I think he's misunderstanding. You can have the same degree, but if it's coming from a different college, it may not have the same weight. So I believe it's universityophobia. Or universiphobia. So
if you go to our City Talk Fall River Facebook page, you'll see that I post a link when we do the podcast from 12 to 2. The Saturday podcast goes from 12 to 2. It's live. You can come on. You can interact. You can call us. Phone number is 774-955-0533. Feel free to post what you think. And then we were just going into the two developers pitching plans for the King Phillips Mill. So it was weird. It was weird what we did just now. I don't know if you noticed that, but when you took your break, I did an advertisement.
For what?
For our Facebook page. I didn't do a paid advertisement, but I did. I advertised the Facebook page and the City Talk page, and then you came back. That's pretty funny. All right, never mind.
So we did a live commercial?
I don't know. I mean, I guess maybe if I lose a couple more elections, I can get a job in WSAR. I don't know. We'll see.
Sell out.
Yeah, right.
So the developers. I don't know if did you hear any wind of this? Did you catch anything that happened out of this whole thing?
Let's rock and roll.
Okay, so there are two developers right now that are looking to develop the King Philip Mill. One of the developers, I believe, is Kafori. I just want to make sure. Okay, so he would tear down. He would tear down one of the buildings. I thought it was two. He was going to tear down one or two of the buildings, and he was going to construct lots to make actual single-family homes. And I believe and he's going to keep one of the buildings up for whatever, I believe, either historical purposes, or he's going to try to redevelop it for office space. I forget exactly what it was. I'm not 100% sure. DeRosa is the other one that's looking to do this, and he is wait a minute. Shoot, is it DeRosa? There's another developer that wants to actually I can't think of the word I'm looking for. He's looking to redo all of one of the mills so he can have market rate housing. So both of those presentations were made, and there's going to be an auction at Government Center. I believe the date is January 29th, and I want to say it's sometime in the morning, 10, 11 o'clock, or like 1 in the afternoon. I forget. It's somewhere between 10 and 1. I forget the exact time. There's and the hope is that that we can get more than what we originally were hoping we would get, which was the $100,000 mark. We need, like, seriously, that was really a low ball number. We need to see what we can do to get the best amount for that, so we can recoup some of the taxes that we truly did lose there. If I have anything wrong in that, just correct me.
No. I was reading it, but I was looking at what the city was going to do to avoid the dramatics that occurred the last time. So what it says is that, let's just put it here. Unlike the last auction process, this time bidders must be able to show proof that they are financially able to move ahead with the project. If they fail to, Viverra said they will be excluded from the auction process. They'll have to come prepared on auction day with their verification. To me, that's an admission. Isn't it? Am I wrong?
No.
Am I wrong?
No. There was... I'm trying to think of the name of the movie, though, but... there was a movie where Adam was it Adam Sandler? No, it was
Man,
I can't think of the name right now.
Come on,
basically they had it was Rob Schneider. He was in it, where he basically played baseball with two of his friends, and he played like all these little league kids and whatever, and then he basically got all the kids that were like outcasts and didn't play games, and they all formed this little baseball team, whatever. And the funny part about that movie is, like, there was a team that they played, and they had like this older dude, and he had to submit proof that he was 12, and it was just basically it was. So what happened was, it was just this piece of paper, and it was in crayon, birth certificate, I'm 12, and with like $100 in it. It's like, it's good. So basically, it's like. So
you know what, you Matlocked it just now. You just did a Matlock, but it was funny. I got you.
So the whole point is, like, when they had this whole thing going on during election season, which come on, you know what? I'm gonna call it spade. That was just a big. It was just a big show and tell thing, because we're gonna have someone. And it fell through. What a shock! Now they're gonna have, you got to show proof that you can pay for this. Well, shouldn't you have had proof before the fact?
To me, that's an admission that the process that they went through was not exactly efficient. At least, I'm being nice about that. You could call it, what did Donald Trump call certain countries with black people in them?
S-holes.
There you go. You could call that a show if you want to, because that's exactly what it was last year. But now, also, to participate in the auction, bidders must present a $25,000 check, which will be returned, so it's sort of like a security deposit, which will be returned to the losing bidder. Naturally, it's not a security. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. In addition to the check, bidders are also required to pay 5% of the amount of their bid.
So basically, the long story short is, if they were to bid $100,000, they're going to get that $25,000 back, but they also have to pay up front $5,000, which I think that's a little low. I think that they should keep the $25,000 check as a show of faith that they're actually going to put money into this. And I don't think $25,000 is a very small amount of money. But on the other hand, $25,000 still does not pay for Kathy Viverra's raise.
So
I'm Matlocked it again.
Successful bidder has a deadline of February 28th to provide the survey and balance of the sale. Now, between the two things, you have one where they just want to do, it says, 26 single-family homes. That's Mr. Kafori. I hope I'm saying his name right.
Robert Kafori.
Robert Kafori. RK Construction, by the way, if I'm not mistaken, is the same plaza where, am I wrong? The same plaza where Shaw's is and Barrett's? Isn't that RK too? I know it's RK, but I don't know if it's.
I think that's the actual owner of the property is RK. I'm not sure if it's. I don't know
if it's the same people.
I'm not sure if it's the same.
I'll double check on that.
But I'm pretty sure RK is.
It's not Robert Caron.
It's not.
No, it's not. You want to know why I know that?
Sure. How do you know that?
Because I thought that 2-3 years ago, and someone said no.
Okay.
But let's go back to so you have 26 single family homes that. The structure that once housed Crown Linen, that's what they wanted. That's what Kafori wants to do. DeRosa wants to, and he was involved in the first proposal of that whole drama. He's still involved. I guess he was not a part of the mess, but he still wants to invest in Fall River, which good for him on that. But he wants to keep the two largest buildings, Mills 1 and 2, and construct mixed-used market rate apartments combined with a manufacturing facility. So I think he wants to do something where it's residential and commercial mix. That just on paper sounds like it would be more appealing.
So the reality is that both plans involve Can you go back to that?
The movie's called Benchwarmers.
Oh, thank you, Benchwarmers. That's what it was.
Where's the article?
Good call on that one. I don't know. You're the one that took it right there. Both plans. Oh, actually, I'm sorry. The first plan is to knock down Mill 1 and then create the 26 single family houses. The other one is to rehab Mill 1 and 2 and use it for market rate apartments. I don't know. I mean, what do you think? What do you think is the best?
I'm just saying on paper, the way it looks to me right now, anything that can bring manufacturing to the city, that catches my eye first.
But you gotta understand, it's not. We're not choosing one over the other. It's who's going to bid to keep it. It's a bid. So.
Well, no. I guess my initial question was, what sounds more appealing to you?
But that's the thing. I mean, I like the manufacturing piece as well.
Okay.
However,
that doesn't necessarily mean necessary. That doesn't necessarily mean that we're going to the one is going to be taking over the other. It does come down to who can afford, the process and all 9 yards.
I mean, I also like the fact that there's going to be single family houses out there, which means there's going to be potential for 26 families to purchase a house, and that's going to put money back into it's going to put money into the tax side of the.
Think of all the purple bags you can sell.
Yeah, but it's supposed to be going after this year. Oh, well, wait a minute. Well, let's see if Jazel holds true on his promise that after this, in the 2018 fiscal year, the bags are going to be gone. Let's see if that happens.
The bags are already gone, in my opinion. What bags? But anyway, continue.
Buy the bags.
Shit, do the right thing. Isn't it interesting? Isn't it interesting? I can pull up video of Leo Pelletier saying to everyone, do the right thing, buy the bags. And now he's all, can't wait to get rid of the bags. Anyway, carry on.
What the heck was that laugh?
Just a grin and bear it kind of a laugh, man.
Oh my dear God. So yeah, I see the other thing that DeRosa has going for him is that he was working with the MHC, the Mass Historical Society, in getting tax credits. So
yes, sir.
So it will be interesting to see how this auction plays out. My hope for the auction is that there's going to be a reputable. Yeah, you can get off of that. There's going to be a reputable auctioneer doing this, because then that will appease. Council President Cliff Ponte. Yeah, had to. So that will. What the heck? What are you looking at? Whatever. That will appease him, because at least now there'll be a reputable auctioneer. I just have a feeling that because the number of 100,000 was there prior before it fell through, I have a very strong feeling that that number is going to probably be where they're going to be at again, if not lower, which scares me, because hey, they gotta get rid of land, they're gonna dispense it, they're gonna do whatever. So someone's gonna get that land for a steal, and I don't know. I just we don't need to look this up, dude.
I am. You don't have to pay attention to it.
But so yeah, that's the end of it. I just think that it's just going to be. I just think that there's going to be a lot of interesting things happening on the 29th when they actually go through the auction.
And that's that, everyone.
And that's all I have to say about that.
He got distracted. He totally got distracted by me.
That's what I was thinking. I was thinking these things.
Yeah, RK Centers. Well, I don't know if RK Centers and RK Construction are the same thing. I truly don't know, but I'll find out.
Wait, RK Plaza anchored by yeah, but isn't that
Sure.
Yeah, but I mean, I understand that though. But
that's not Karen.
Okay, moving on. Next topic.
Fall River getting most public grant money to pay for police and firemen. This isn't really any like a big news or earth-shattering news, but we will receive $916,000 in state grant money to retain or hire police officers and firefighters, and to pay for overtime expenses to help the city's police and fire departments maintain appropriate staffing levels. Now, if I'm not mistaken, this was a topic of discussion when Cliff Ponte was voting, and believe it or not, Rich Cabaceres, they were voting to cut the overtime budget
by about $250,000.
Yes. So here's this. So I guess they'll be able to use that money. And there's Senator Mike Rodrigues, Democrat from Westport. The public safety staffing grants will ensure Fall River's dedicated police officers and firefighters have the resources they need to protect and serve our community.
So the way it's going to be split, the $916,000 is that the police department is going to get $476,000, which is just a little over half of it, and like about 54%, and then the other 46% is going to the fire department, who's getting $440,000. Now that $440,000 is most likely going to be put toward hiring and overtime, as it says, because they dashed a lot of the overtime. Now, what I would have liked to see this money going toward would be trying to replenish what the fire department and the police department had to give up in terms of the MIS stuff, and the information, the IS, all the technology that they had to give up, which I believe in some way, shape, or form, some of this is going to go toward that. My big problem with this article, and it's not a problem that we're getting this money, is that what's going to happen when we don't get this money is that we're going to go right back to where we started with the layoffs and the cuts. And thankfully, over the last couple of FY budgets, we've been able to retain the firefighters and the police officers.
Absolutely. Without grants.
Without grants. So my big concern is if this grant money doesn't come back to us and it runs out, we're going to go right back to where we started, and that's not going to be a very good thing. So we need to tread lightly with how we spend this money and be very careful, because we need to have that rainy day fund where if we can't keep them, we're going to cut them. That's not going to look very good on the administration. It's not going to look good for the city as a whole. And then we get into this big joke.
I'm not gonna go into that one yet. It's another article that I got on Herald. I want to talk a little bit more about finances in Fall River, if you don't mind. So, we got that grant, and $440,000 is going to go to the fire department. Where would we be if there wasn't a cut to their overtime? They could use more of that funding, like you said, cover the MIS cuts that they made, or for whatever other situation that the fire departments need. They are in very old buildings. I know what it's like at this point in time to be working out of an old city building. The amount of care that they need and the amount of money that needs to go into the maintenance. One way or the other, I don't think cutting public safety was a good idea. I'll never really fully support that, and I'm not 100% sure that the people in the city even knew what was going on or paid attention to what was going on in that respect. So stop falling for talking points. Pay attention to the money. Pay attention to who's voting for what and why, and what they're looking to get out of these votes. There's always some kind of an agenda, and if you don't call it out, it's just going to keep on doing it. So I think that one way or the other, the fire department got shortchanged out of the situation. And it's not really, in my opinion, very good for the city. So, one way or the other. But, speaking of not good for the city, hey, did you know that Fall River is, it's got a little bit of a drug problem?
No way.
Yeah, man.
It does?
I hate to break this news to you. I hate to.
What happened? What happened to my Fall River?
Oh, boy. That was for you, my Talamera. He got me on that one too, by the way. So
oh wow! I mean, I completely got him.
He definitely got me on that one. So that's for you, Mike. I hope Mike was listening to that.
Oh, I really. Oh, come on. All right, go back. You can go back to the live stream.
I'm looking at the chat. I'm looking at the chat.
Education, public.
No.
Okay.
He'll hopefully. You know what? There might be a delay, so I hope he gets that.
That was all you, Mike.
High five. Good job. Fall River, the city, is suing the country's opioid producers, suppliers, and distributors. Mayor Jason Correa announced on Friday. I gotta read this whole thing, sorry. Moments before a press conference outside the mayor's office, Correa said he signed an agreement with attorneys from Motley Rice, one of the country's largest plaintiff litigation firms, to pursue the legal action, joining communities across the country involved in similar litigation as they face the opioid and heroin crisis. We believe there is a strong connection between the two, with opioids being sold over the counter that is prescribed and a connection to heroin that have affected our streets in Fall River. Chris said the idea first came to him shortly after he took office of mayor and during the U.S. Mayor's Conference in Washington, D.C. The mayor of Chicago, Rahm Emanuel, was speaking about the national drug crisis. Well, I don't know if I want to go through the entire article, but I know you remember that HBO special they did about out in Barnstable area,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, I remember that.
And the Hyannis and all that. So they're the ones that when I first saw that, they talked about the numbers. We always knew that the pharmaceutical companies, you know, and a lot of drug addiction, especially in our city, starts with, oh, I hurt my back, I need a pill. Next thing you know, they're hooked because they're not getting weaned off properly, or they just get too dependent on the pills and not enough on actual, you know, physical treatment and things like that. And then next thing you know, pills are being sold, this, that, and the other in the streets. And if they can't get access to those pills, then they reach for something cheaper and something stronger, and it goes down the line. So, billions and billions of dollars are made by the pharmaceutical companies, and they have a very, very strong influence on our politicians and our Congress. So, many times we try to, quote, fight drugs in our city, but I think we're fighting almost a losing battle in some cases, because the funding that it takes to actually take care of addicts, I personally am not sure that, number one, we can afford the tax raises to do that. So the money has to come from somewhere. And in my opinion, since the pharmaceutical companies produce these pills and probably should take some responsibility for these pills, maybe they need to fund some of these programs to take care of some of these addicts. That's just me. That's just the way I look at it. It's the same way that cigarette companies have put lots and lots of money into people who have either gotten sick from cigarettes or trying to quit. They've actually done that. I forgot the name of the company that does the tobacco industry, but they've actually, I think it is Philip Morris, yeah. They've put millions and millions of dollars into the campaign to stop smoking, believe it or not. That's pretty interesting, right? But you don't need a cigarette when you get into a car accident, but you may need a couple of pills for the pain to get through to the next, you know, situation in your recovery. So I do think that they have a responsibility. That's just my opinion. If I'm not mistaken, and I'm going to have to find the article, but I'm pretty sure there was a whistleblower in the pharmaceutical companies that straight outright said that they purposely knew that the addiction problems were going to be created, and they did it anyway. They pushed the button anyway. So I'd like to see something to that nature. If we do sue these pharmaceutical companies, where the money going? Because we do know, we have an idea of how Jazel likes to spend his money.
Well, it says right in there. Correa said if the city is successful in its legal action against the big pharmaceutical companies, the money will be used to help addicted Fall River residents. And then my biggest question is how are we going to pay for it? So then the very last thing it says, law firm will not receive any compensation from the city unless the litigation is successful. So, I don't know. I just... Yes.
All right, I'm writing something down. I'm writing a name down.
Yes.
It's called Mike Agia.
Yes.
So, Jazel hired a guy, right? Jazel hired a guy not too long ago that was supposed to be the drug czar of Fall River, supposed to help coordinate all the drug rehab in Fall River. And we were going to be a safer community, and it was sold to us pretty well. I'd love to pull up that article, but I don't really feel like it right now.
But yet you want to look up where RK was, okay?
Yeah, I did. So, the issue that we have is that, yes, this actually, if this went through and it was effective and it brought city money, I mean, kudos. I think that's good. However, I'm not sure if I trust the process right now. When we get money, it seems like whenever we get money, someone on the Jazel Correa bandwagon gets paid. True?
I'm not going to stop you.
All right.
That's pretty much accurate.
That's exactly what happens. So, and hey, I voted for him. Very likely going to vote for him again in some cases. Depends. But this, we gotta be suspect. We gotta be suspicious about how money gets spent when we see examples of people who support his campaign getting paid. And I'm not even talking about just city administrator and CPA. I'm also talking about drug coordinators too, right? So we gotta be clear on these things. We gotta have an open eye. We have our eyes open. We gotta have our eyes open. Eventually, I'm going to say the sentence right. So, Bradley said there are about 235 similar lawsuits filed around the country, and Motley Rice represents the states of Massachusetts. What is it? Let's see. New Hampshire, Kentucky, South Carolina, Alaska, the city of Chicago, counties in California, New York, New Jersey, and as well as the city of Quincy. Those lawsuits have been consolidated in federal court. He also noted that, let me see, Fall River comes in third highest in the state for drug overdoses behind Boston and Lowell. And I'm assuming that we probably have the highest number per population, because they have bigger populations than we do.
I don't know. I mean, I don't have the stats in front of me.
Yeah.
Like you said,
this might not be...
Like you said earlier in the show, I'm a stats guy.
But, this doesn't say... It says third highest in the state for drug overdose. It doesn't say, if it's raw data. It doesn't say per population or anything like that. So, per capita, however you want to...
Yeah, but I mean, you can have stats say whatever you want. That's the truth. I mean,
so, when he says we had the third highest rate of drug overdoses in behind Boston and Lowell, then when you hear certain cities or certain newspapers or whatever rate our town as one of the worst in the country, you can't look at one stat and then ignore another. You can't do that.
I mean, look at it. I mean, if you're going to use this stat right here, that we're the third worst. We are. I'm sorry. I'm going to reread it again. Third highest in the state for drug overdoses, and then people want to completely disagree. That we're the fifth worst city in what the nation? Was it the nation or Massachusetts? It was the nation, right?
Fifth worst in the country.
Fifth worst in the country. I mean, look. You have to, at some point you have to start getting better at something, and you take. I mean, the drug crisis. That's a thing that's going to take years upon. I'm going to say decades. You're not going to fix that overnight.
Well, you're not going to fix it with just getting money.
Yeah, you're not. You're not. What's going to have to happen is that these pharmaceutical companies have to kind of follow the same suit that the cigarette companies did. They have to start putting money aside for these people that are addicted, for treatment. I mean, that's what the ultimate resolution is going to be. The big tobacco, they took that responsibility. They put money aside for it. They have their own programs. Big Pharma is going to have to do the same thing. They have to, in some way, shape, or form. They have to do this. Nice. No, that'd be 2020.
Mike D'Oliveira, Necessary Media. He's been in hiatus for a little while. Come on into the apartment. Come on and hang out with us next week or whatever you want to do it.
Yeah, I can't be here next week, so Mike, take my spot.
There you go.
I'll be more than happy to give the seat to Mr. Necessary.
Yeah.
So be here next week. Would love to hear that show.
Mike's just dropping some knowledge in the chat room. He made fun of me. He said, because I said we got to be suspect. What I meant to say, we have to be suspicious. He said we got to be suspect. Trot Lee for City Council 2019. Hilarious. Hilarious. Just great. So speaking of me, I just got to talk about me for a minute. You're all going to laugh at me. People who know me are going to laugh at me. But on Monday morning, I'm going to be meeting with someone from the Herald News, and they're going to interview me because, I don't know if you know this, but I have started the job at the Veterans Center. So I'll give you two guesses as to who's going to be interviewing me.
Joe Good.
No.
Brian.
No. You fail.
Fraga?
You fail.
Will Richmond?
Fail.
Really? Oh, Dion?
Yes.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
Oh, all right. I guess I could see it.
Yes.
Dude, there's like 4 main people there.
I'll tell you how it went down too. He sent me a message and he said, do you mind meeting up with me to do an interview about, your first week at the program? And I said, why's it gotta be you? and then I said, I'm just kidding. He was like, no, you're not.
Well, we all know you're not. So.
No, actually, I've grown to. I don't appreciate everything he writes in his articles, but I have been able to talk to him on a respectful. Yep, Amy got it. On a respectful level. There's a delay. There's definitely a delay.
Well, yeah, obviously.
So Amy got it. But yeah. So anyway, guys, we are record listeners today. Record highs today. 7. Yeah. Thanks, guys. We appreciate it.
Wow.
You have anything you want to add before we close this bad boy out? Do you want to talk about the New England Patriots? Because I'm telling you right now, man, the ship is a little shaky. It's a little rocky. That's all I'm saying.
It's in rocky waters.
I think we're going to win the Super Bowl, by the way. I do think that's going to happen. I do. Did I just jinx us?
I'm not.
It's going to take an act of miracle proportions to beat the Patriots at this point. Because the 3 teams that are left. What? An act of miracle proportions?
No.
What?
People would just. Well, I'm just. I didn't have anything to say about that.
Or you could say miraculous proportions.
I was going to say it's just going to take a miracle.
Whatever.
Okay, well, we could just go that far. But
it took longer for you to correct me. Listen.
Not really.
We have Jacksonville, which come on. If we lose Jacksonville, we deserve to lose anyway.
Dude, Jacksonville is a pretty good team right now. How? Are you kidding me?
They gave up 42 points to Steelers. Everyone's jumping about their defense. 42 points. Come on. And then did you see them against Buffalo? They can't play in the cold weather, man.
Well, it's kind of like 49 degrees right now.
We can beat them.
So what's it gonna be like tomorrow?
We can beat them.
Okay, can you turn weatherman on me and find out what the weather is gonna be for tomorrow?
Oh, look we missing Nikki though. She said.
Yes, we all miss Nikki. We all miss Nikki. It's all about Nikki.
Right.
Because without Nikki here, TJ doesn't know what to say.
Right. I just kind of mumbled for like the past 2 hours.
Yeah, you did. I'm not gonna lie about that either.
Also, what, Philadelphia?
Just keep in mind what the importance of the NFC Championship game has. This is a very important piece here. You're shaking your head. Do you know what it is? Do you know what the importance of the NFC Championship game is?
Yeah, they're all new quarterbacks.
No.
Oh, okay.
That has zero to do with new quarterbacks. I don't care.
Okay, then why don't you just say it instead of whatever you're doing right now?
No, because you shook your head. I was thinking you knew. If Minnesota wins, they're going to be playing at home at the Super Bowl.
Oh yeah.
Be the first time ever that it'll be the first time ever that that's ever happened. Also,
I think Minnesota's going to win anyway.
Also, this is going to be another first.
What?
This is going to be the first time that Tony Romo was ever seen as a conference championship game.
What am I thinking? All right, so by the way, Patriots going to win. They're going to beat them in Minnesota. Although Minnesota, of the 3 teams left, is probably the team that can win. They broke my heart last week with that whole awful play, number 43 on the Saints. Oh my goodness, that was awful, hideous.
Have you seen the videos that came after that?
I mean, come on.
Oh my dear God.
Anyway, but I want to say something. We got 6 minutes left, guys. There is a government shutdown.
Yes, there is.
There's a government shutdown. So, real quick, I want to run through some of this government shutdown business.
Yeah. So I think they.
Here we go.
I believe they met this morning, or they were meeting this morning to try to work a way around it, so they can have a shorter time frame so they can keep government going. Government.
So I posted a huge article on my Facebook wall, but this one has a quick summary. Post office is
it's an independent agency, so it's fine.
All right, so you want to start sentences and I can just jump in?
No, because I already knew the post office.
Social Security checks will be in the mail, but new applications will not be processed until the shutdown ends. National parks, unlike the last shutdown, some do plan to be open. Those with safety or staffing issues will close. You'll have to cancel that visit to the Statue of Liberty, Lincoln Memorial, because museums and monuments will be closed.
Smithsonian and National Zoo will stay open, though?
Yep, the Smithsonian and the National Zoo, so if you plan on doing that. But they shut down on Monday.
Okay.
Airports will stay open. During the last shutdown, more than 14,000 air traffic controllers were ordered to keep working without pay. In a worst-case scenario, delays might be encountered depending on which employees are deemed, quote, non-essential. Passports, you need to hurry up depending on when funding runs out. I actually have to go get a passport soon. Immigration services, most employees of the Department of Home Security are considered essential and will remain on the job. Immigration services are mostly self-funded, so those offices will continue operating. 8% is the number that I've gotten from people around the way that says that that's a percent of government that's shutting down. So there's a whole bunch of it. It goes over financial oversight. If you're my friend on Facebook, you'll be able to see it. I'll make it public.
By the way, how much is this going to actually affect the senators and representatives? How much is that going to affect them?
Probably not.
Exactly.
Probably not.
This is my final word on this. I mean, I'm not to say this is the final word.
Mm-hmm.
If a government shutdown actually affected those people that were voting for this in government, this would be completely different.
I think so too.
All right. So you got to keep in mind, just because they're voting for this shutdown. Well, they're not voting for the shutdown. They're just voting not to continue or to get the funding so they can continue. Just because they're not voting for that, it's not going to affect them. They're still going to get paid their money. They're still going to be getting their benefits. They're still going to be getting everything. However, if in any way, shape, or form, those guys were to not get paid because of this shutdown, you would see how fast they would be voting to find a way to keep government going. We all know it. They're the untouchables of this nation. I'm in government. You can't tell me what to do. Well, yeah, we can. We just don't vote for you.
Fingers get pointed. People get blamed all day long, up and down the line. Nobody wants to take responsibility. No one. So you have your Democrats who are completely against anything that's going to make the president look presidential at all. If he's trying to compromise, they're like, hell no. But on Trump's side, he don't treat people very well, do he? No. So he's talked so much crap about everybody, he public shames people. Then when it's time to get business done in the White House, now everyone's got to become teammates and we got to have a bill of love and all this and that. He's going to, right? That's what he said. So he has a job to do, and he's going to make his job a lot better if he can walk across the aisle and make friends. Right, Brother Love. You're talking about Brother
No,
Love?
I was thinking
Okay.
Bill of Love. That's gonna be the newest reality TV show for politicians to find love, like kind of like School of Love and all that crap. Like, oh,
Ooh, no, never mind.
yeah, wow. I just thought about that.
Never
Good
mind.
call. Oh man.
Anyway, so he has a job to do. Now he has a job to do, and his job is going to be a lot easier if he can reach across the aisle. Now, when you had Barack Obama as the president, I believe it was like 1 or 2 weeks in, you had Mitch McConnell saying he's going to be a one-term president because we are not going to work with this guy. So you knew what was going to come the next 4 to 8 years was a Congress that was going to be completely working against your president. Now you have the situation where the president has used his social media over and over and over and over and over again to publicly shame people on the other side of the aisle. So when it's time to get the job done, he's shocked and can't believe that nobody wants to work with him. Believe it or not, there's some Republicans on his side that also didn't vote with him on this bill. He would have been able to, and in my opinion, get 60 if he would have just made a few friends on the other side of the aisle. That to me, that is his responsibility. That fell on him. He created a bad relationship with other people. He fed into what we see on Facebook and everywhere on the radio of how evil and how we have to do this public civil war between Republicans and Democrats instead of working together to try to, I don't know, maybe take care of the people. I don't know, maybe just throwing it out there. Could be productive, but no, we have to continue this stupid civil war so that way we don't get partisan deals. Bipartisan is an oxymoron when you have literally people going at each other's throats over and over and over again, and then it's time to do work and you expect it to not have a shutdown? Are you guys kidding me? Is everyone losing their minds? I just need to know. Anyway, I'm done. You have anything you want to throw on this?
Yeah, I feel like playing that song.
Go ahead. We're gonna get shut down now, man.
Yeah, it's
Gonna be a City Talks Fall River shutdown if we play that song, man.
So my song is Friends by Houdini because Friends.
How many of us have?
How many of us have it? Yeah, that's
There you go.
that we need Trump to have that. Let's see. What do we need to talk about? So we know Patriots playing tomorrow, 3:00. It's going to be around 40 degrees. I did check
Angels
that.
Anonymous got anything going on over there?
Right now, no. Right now, we're kind of calm. We're just trying to. We're just recovering from the Christmas stuff, and now we're trying to get back. We're trying to get everything back in order. We're doing our thing. We'll probably have some news to share soon, but not anything as of right now.
Cool.
As always, we have a pretty serious special election coming up on March 6th, and we have plenty of time to talk about it.
Yes.
There's going to be a lot of news coming out. A lot of numbers going to come out. A lot of confusion that's going to happen. You're going to have a lot of smoke and mirrors. People, I ask you, pay attention. Ask questions. And don't ask questions to your friends that have a vested interest in things. Mm-hmm. Ask questions to the people that have
Opposing
nothing
views.
Exactly. Yeah. Find out what is going to be best for you. Mm-hmm. Okay? I understand. There is the want, and I'm not even going to say the need, the want of a new high school is there.
Mm-hmm.
Just because we want it doesn't mean we need it.
Okay? We don't need to spend that much for it. I know that.
Or that. You know, we don't need to have a high school for 3,000 students, which is basically what we're planning for. You can have a high school for 2,500 students and be perfectly fine.
You know, Nikki did bring up a good point last week when it was she and I. She said that, our population is decreasing too.
Exactly.
So do we need that much?
We don't. We could possibly survive with a $2,500 100 student school, a 2,000 student school. We could probably survive with that.
That teacher that mentioned about if you don't like what's going on here, if you can't afford to live here, move. Gentrification is something that's been going on in Massachusetts for quite some time. It's part of the reason why, quote, gateway cities are doing so wonderful economically in our state, mm-hmm. because there's a lot of gentrification, a lot of poverty, a lot of troubled populations get pushed out so that way they can have more affluent populations.
Right.
And Fall River is no different. Fall River, as we all learned today, is third on the list in the state in drug overdoses. that beats New Bedford, Taunton, Brockton, so many other spots that people say, oh, it's almost worse over there, right?
Methuen.
Right.
And Methuen is not, and you know, look, that's Methuen's a pretty bad city, but when you can say that you beat Methuen, that's not good.
When a school teacher who's supposed to kind of, that has supposed to come with a reputation to take care of kids and care about the community and stuff like that, you would think when a teacher goes up there and says, get out if you can't afford it, you got to know that there is a rumbling amongst the population in Fall River, probably the same groups of people that don't want certain things in their backyard, right? That are thinking, maybe we should be pushing out the poor. Maybe we should be pushing out the sick. Maybe we should be pushing out everybody. And then when you look at the national scale, it's almost the same exact thing. Push people. We don't want certain people in here. We want these kind of people in here. That narrative is going to keep on pushing unless you make a decision to try to change that. So I'm just throwing it out there. We're seeing it. I'm not, I'm not the Mr. Negative guy saying, oh, this is coming. It's already here, guys. So whatever you plan to do with that, it's on you at that point. Got it?
Good. Oh, we're done. Oh, you need my woo.